Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween, if you happen to be celebrating. Let me just get this phone set down so you can more accurately see my costume. If you have any guesses as to what I mean to dress as, I'd love to hear them. So anyway, seeing that Halloween this year is on a Sunday, and I thought it'd be a great time for us to look into the scriptures, to kind of themed. But anyway, this Sunday I'll be looking at D&C Doctrine and Covenants, 128:18. I might have rendered a plainer translation to this, but it is sufficiently plain to suit my purpose as it stands. It is sufficient to know, in this case, that the earth will be smitten with a curse unless there is a welding link of some kind or other between the fathers and the children, upon some subject or other. And behold, what is that subject? It is the baptism for the dead. For we without them cannot be made perfect, neither can they without us be made perfect. Neither can they nor we be made perfect without those who have died in the gospel also. For it is necessary in the in the dispensation of the fullness of times, which dispensation is now beginning to usher in, that a whole and complete and perfect union and welding together of dispensations and keys and glories and powers and glories should take place, and be revealed from the days of Adam, even to this present time. And not only this, but those things which never have been revealed from the foundation of the world, but have been kept hid from the wise and prudent, shall be revealed unto the babes and sucklings in the dispensation of the fullness of times. And just so you know, this is looking at the book of Malachi, and that's what it's talking about, the book of Malachi. Last chapter, verses 5 and 6. So if you want to look at that too, you can. I'm just confusing myself. It's supposed to be a different kind of scary. So, again, pertaining to that verse, my thoughts. When I was reading the scripture, starting at the beginning, I did not expect it to be about baptism for the dead. I know that no one quite knows where they are going until they know what they have been through. But wow, that just amazes me. I also like connecting this with the possibility that I could always serve the Lord, whether it be in a mission or something else. Because well, I should have really got my thoughts together. I think about the fathers to the children part and connect that to me, and I invite you to do the same to yourselves. It still doesn't make very much sense. My oldest brother Calvin, he did almost all, if not all, of our family genealogical work, like on the Gardner side, my side. And if they have all been baptized, they have several times. Should I do that work too, to just double check, or maybe this is a sign that I should do it for like my Javan side. I wish that I felt more heard during my prayers too. That is probably my own fault. I should probably connect with the Spirit more. I should look at my Ponderizing scripture more and more during this weekend, the rest of my life. Definitely more than I looked at it last week, because I probably have a fair bit more that I can say about that classic scripture. Also, I think this verse is talking about the verse before it. Actually, two verses before, if you're wanting to read along with me when I think about it and looked at it. So here's what it says. I think. Hang on. Yes. And again, in connection with this quotation, I will give you a quotation from one of the prophets, who had his eye fixed on the restoration of the priesthood, the glories to be revealed in the last days, and in a special manner, this most glorious subjects belonging to the everlasting gospel, namely baptism for the dead. For Malachi says, last chapter, verses 5 and 6, like I said, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Oh, where was I? I know that I'm still alive for some reason, and I will never ever disagree with God and his plans with me on this earth, and say like bring things too far for myself. I will accept my time in this trial called earthly life, however long it is destined to be, because sometimes it feels so painstakingly long. I won't accept it even if death is an option. I know that with how far our remedies are, our medics are. Sorry, bad handwriting. Anyone has the option to always say this is the end whenever they want to, but I think it is completely God's own responsibility. Life was never ever meant to be easy, and maybe I will do something like the scripture describes for my mission here on earth, with the baptisms for the dead, and because of my mortality. Life is life, and life is hard, and it never ever is going to be different. Also, looking back at the fathers and children part, is that happening right now, or is it happening to someone in a similar way right now? I know it can be different for us all. I'd love to hear your own perspective of that. If it is already in full swing, I know it is at least starting to happen, especially with the indexing that is currently done. I index or have indexed often, and starting when people are a youth at least, and because it was like that for me. I started a couple years ago when I was a youth, and the family genealogical work that has been done. The Gardner family can't stand alone with what my oldest brother Calvin has done with it. Well, we may a bit, because I think he went way far back. Also, this connection may supposedly have no proper reference, but then again, it might. This was a prophet's retranslation, so I trust it. My own fathers talk about how our prehistoric record could be wrong, or that we didn't look at it close enough, because Bible scholars have said different, but I mean it's all up in the air. So granted, it would be really cool if we really knew it all, but who knows? Who knows save God? Maybe in some future day, a prophet will accept that and say that it is true, and it will be just the same. And since the prophet is the voice of God, I believe that we all should accept it then. I personally know that I will. Anyway, that's my own thoughts on this odd holiday that I love. And I again hope you all have a happy Halloween and a pleasant week, and I can't wait to see you again next week.